Hey there, fellow YouTubers. George's Dump Truck and Excavating Vlogs. Anyways, I want to talk today a little bit about spare parts you need uh, for your excavating business, or if you're starting a landscaping equipment rental or so forth. So you always need spare parts. I mean, hands down, you always need spare parts for your machines. If you have name brand, sure, you can go to your dealer and get parts. But what happens if you order order a gray market machine or tool or whatever? You just can't go down. You just can't go to your local hardware store or your local tractor supply and buy parts and pieces for that machine. In my case, I have bought 3 pieces of machinery from China, and I'm getting spare parts for the machines. I'm hoping maybe someday to have a rack like this here, full of parts and pieces, but you know how that is. So having a system, what you see in front of you here, you have spare parts. You have your ring gears, you have any kind of part you need for your machine, it's there. So it's nice to have a little inventory of parts and pieces for your machine. This would be a good thing to have. You have everything, it's all organized and such. And maybe this is something I'm going to have in the future when I build my new shed, which is a later project. We'll be talking about that. And just have things in inventory. When something breaks down, you have the parts and pieces. So it's a very good rule of thumb to have extra parts for gray market machinery. So I'm going to tell you the parts that wear out the most and things you'd carry on hand if you're thinking about buying a gray market machine or whatever tool you have to get things you need that make your life a lot easier and less downtime, and save money and put more money in your pocket. Also good to be it's also good for you to be mechanically inclined or have a mechanic work for you that can get stuff fixed as efficiently as possible. So let's talk about tracks. Okay. Well, the pieces of machinery I have got we got 3 of them, 3 pieces of machinery, and they have all different track sizes. Well, I need to carry tracks for the machines. Right? Being I'm starting a rental business, of course, different users are harder on tracks. So what happens, the tracks prematurely wear, and of course I just kind of run down to the tractor supply here and get tracks. So I'm getting spare sets of tracks for each machine. That way I have everything I need. So those are just things you guys to think about going forward. So you can get different kind of tracks. You get ones that have taller grip, shorter grip for different applications. On my 1.8 ton machine, I'm going to be getting eventually. I'm getting the padded. I'm going to get the tracks with the rubber pads on them going forward because I like that style. More efficient, and if you ever instead of blowing the whole damn track, you just replace the rubber pad. So it's a little more efficient at a later date. So just thing to think about. The thing to think about are final drives. The drives on the tracks. They tend to go not so frequently, but they will wear out eventually. And here again, you just can't go down to your dealer because there is no dealer. You just can't go down to your dealer and go get the parts you need. Sometimes the final drives are generic, and you just go get something that's going to work. If made by Eaton, of course, then you just source them out through a different excavator company, some name brand. You can probably find final drives or drive motors for your excavator. So just things to think about. I'm getting final drives. I'm getting a set for each machine I'm bringing in. That way I have spares. If one screws up, you have a spare, and there you go. And also getting the gears too that go on that because they do wear. But those things actually, they're it takes such a long time to wear out, is better to, I mean, later on you can always order them directly from China or wherever you buy your machine from, is keep a spare gear. I mean, just everyone has their own ways of running equipment. Some people are harder, some people are not as hard, and people who know how to run excavators, you know how to turn them too, so they don't less wear on the drives. So the the cab swing motor that spins a cab around on the excavator, that too wears out. These are one of the things that wear out too prematurely sometimes, or they'll either they'll wear as long, you know, with the machine, right? Depends on the operator how much you use it. You know, something. Also, the other thing too, that of course I'm getting one of these too. I'm getting two of these because on the 1.8 and also the 110 they use the same swing motor. And the other thing I'm getting that is with the gear, because the gears will tend to wear out too, especially if there's not a proper cover underneath. And if you start going in mud or rocks or stuff like that, and you start burying those tracks, you know, material, mud or whatever, and you get a rock between the gears underneath the damn cab of the machine, you start breaking parts. So, good thing to keep in mind, right? Also, the hydraulic pumps go out too, and the problem with the hydraulic pump is that's a little better. The problem with the hydraulic pumps, they do wear out over time. Now, there may be a generic brand where you can actually go to your Princess Auto or Harbor Freight and pick up a hydraulic pump, but I'm getting a couple of those as well. I don't know how many gallons per minute. I forget how many gallons per minute the one ton is, and also the 1.8, and also the mini dumper. All three of them use hydraulic pumps. So I'm hoping they have all the same kind of attachment, which would be easy to get parts for, but we'll see when we get the machine. And of course I'm getting the spare parts for those too. So always carry spare parts all the time. Other thing you want to get are hoses. On the mini excavator and the mini dumper, I don't know what size hoses they use, but it's good to have an assortment of hoses. I don't know if they have 3/8, quarter inch, or what they have on there, but I'll be have to go to the Princess Auto here and go get get a roll of hydraulic hose, and with fittings, because you just don't know what kind of fittings it is. It's good to check your machine and see what kind of fittings you have, and go from there. I'm not getting the fittings and stuff in the hose from the manufacturer. I'm just getting there's certain things that wear the most, but the hoses is something good to have. Also, having a set of wrenches. You also want a couple of cluster wrenches, a couple of combination wrenches, and a couple of clarinet wrenches too. They'll come in handy once in a while. So you just never know what you're gonna come up across. And you could almost put a monkey wrench in there too. You just never know, right? So we'll talk about this some more. So once I have my machine, I'm going to go through the whole machine and figure out exactly what fittings I have, because I don't know what fittings it has. I like to get a handful of fittings when I go to Princess Auto, get my hose, have a handful of fittings, and that way I always have fittings on hand. Because when you have an excavating business or rental business, you know what happens. You bang up against a tree, or bang up against a building or something else, and you knock a hose. You can break the fitting, you can rupture the hose, you can do all sorts of damage. So with the excavators, you can only put so many guards around the cylinders and can only do so much. But people get careless, they break stuff, and sometimes there's sabotage on that line too. But you know how that goes. So I'm just gonna have a handful of fittings, whatever fittings the machine has. I'll have a handful of them on hand at all times, and that way if the machine breaks down on the job, I go fix the machine. Or even if I'm working the machine and a fitting breaks or whatever, I get careless, whatever, and I break a fitting, at least I can go home or carrying some fittings with me in the truck and then fix the problems with the machine as from on the job, or a customer is on the job doing something. What I want to get is a hydraulic fitting compressor, hydraulic fitting press. So the hydraulic fitting presses are a really good investment because you can't always go run to your Tractor Supply or your machine shop to do. We go buy this hydraulic hose fitting compressor from China. I don't know, probably $300-400, and it's going to save you a lot of money. I mean, it'll save you tooth and nail for sure, because every time you go press a fitting on at the hydraulic shop, whatever, it costs you money, right? And downtime. The other thing you can get too are those fittings that you can screw into the hose. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but you can just kind of thread into the hose. Kind of put your, it's good to have like a little vise on your truck too. And you put the hose in the vise, and then you thread in the fitting. Those are good too. They're kind of a jobber kind of thing, but they work. So, but the hydraulic fitting press, it's a really good thing to have, and it's something I'm going to buy in the future. Not quite yet, but at least if something happens, I can fix it on my own and do the stuff I want. Even make hoses for different implements I have, different attachments. I like to do that kind of stuff. I find that stuff actually quite fun. So anyways, just things you can do. And these are the tools and things you need for running an excavating business or a rental business, whatever. And you always get extra parts and extra tools and stuff to run your business efficiently going forward. So, I mean, this theory, it's good for any kind of business. Doesn't matter what you have. It's always got spare parts, spare tools, and know-how to fix things. So if you know how to fix your equipment, whatever you're renting or whatever you're doing, you save yourself money. So anyways, hopefully you like the video. Give me a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll be putting more content up as we get more content for the excavators and such. And once we get that, we'll post it up. Alright, bye for now.